All right, we are here live, and this is the midweek report for the Boxing Source. I am James Bell, the host of the Boxing Source radio show and the leader of the Boxing Source on social media. Be sure to subscribe to the Boxing Source here on YouTube and follow us on Facebook through the Boxing Source. And also, you can also follow us on Instagram, looking up the Boxing Source, and follow us on Twitter at Boxing Source 2. We're going to go through a few things here in this particular midweek report. We did, of course, have the podcast that was on Sunday. We're going to be posting that up here pretty soon. That was going over the fights that did happen over the course of the past weekend, particularly at the PPL Center. Where Gary Russell Jr. was able to defend his WBC featherweight championship over Tucson King Tug Neon Bayar. And you had Guillermo Rigondeaux get the WBA regular bantamweight championship with a split decision over Laborio Solis. So you'll be able to, catch that through anchor.fm, or if you can, you could subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. But through here, just wanted to, get through a couple of topics here in between the week. We got a few things that are, going on this week that we're going to cover. Plus, we have, a few topics to, talk about. So, want to, get through this particular thing here. First off, we have a fight card that's coming up in a couple of days. So want to basically touch on that. This is over in Carson, California, or in Anaheim, California, at the Honda Center. It is headlined by Ryan Garcia versus Francisco Fonseca, and that's going to be for the WBC Silver Lightweight Championship. You have Ryan Garcia, King Rye, up there as a rising, contender in the lightweight division. You have the lightweight division being one of the deep divisions there in the sport of boxing. Of course, you have the unified lightweight champion Vasyl Lomachenko. You have the IBF champion there with Teofimo Lopez. They are planning to have a unification bout. That is, as word of right now, May 30th. We're scheduled to be in April over at Madison Square Garden, but it looks like it's pushed to May 30th. So you're gonna have that. You had, the WBC championship that was won by Devin Haney after Vasyl Lomachenko was named the franchise champion. So Devin Haney had won that title. But after his first defense, he had an injury, so he wasn't able to compete. So he is a champion in recess, and it seems like they're going to be planning to have a fight for that WBC championship, which will be between Luke Campbell and Javier Fortuna. So that is one thing that's going to be planned for the near future is Javier Fortuna against Luke Campbell for that WBC lightweight championship. And then when Devin Haney is, back, 100% or whatever it is, then he will be fighting the winner of that fight for the WBC lightweight championship. But like I said, on Friday, you're going to have the WBC Silver Lightweight Championship with King Ryan Garcia against Francisco Fonseca in the main event for that fight card. That is, you know, in Anaheim, California. You're also going to have former lightweight champion Jorge Linares is going to be in action there in that fight card as well, going up against Carlos Morales. You know also have Blair Cobbs against Samuel Nikwe. So that is what we have up to this particular point for what's happening on Friday, and you do have on Saturday Caleb Plant going up against Vincent Feigenbutz for that IBF Super Middleweight Championship. That is a mandatory defense for Caleb Plant. We did have word yesterday that former super middleweight champion Caleb Truax was scheduled to be on that fight card, but his opponent is not able to, be approved to fight on that fight card. So there's no opponent for Caleb Truax, and he won't be in that bout. So I wanted to, get back into the thing with Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is one of those young fighters that are out there that people are pretty much putting as part of that new generation of fighters. About 24 and younger. There in the lightweight division, like I said, Devin Haney. You have Teofimo Lopez. You have Ryan Garcia, and they now have moving up to lightweight Gervonta Tank Davis. But seems like we may have something going on here in reference to Ryan Garcia. Now, he may, be put in the ring against Gervonta Tank Davis. You had Oscar De La Hoya talking with people about it over social media. Oscar De La Hoya is like, "Hey, Ryan is ready for a championship fight this year. I have something to say. Mayweather is a promoter of Tech. He has people to work with him, and he is his promoter. And if Floyd wants to give me a rematch, let's do it. He has his fighter. I have Ryan Garcia. And if Ryan wins, it's Friday the 14th. Let's make the fight. Promoter against promoter, fighter against fighter. It will be a big fight." That is supposedly Oscar De La Hoya on the Petros and Money show. So that is, kind of, what Oscar De La Hoya is saying. That, possibly could be a fight for Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, I've said, over the course of the past few weeks or so, that after Gervonta Tank Davis's win over Yuriorkis Gamboa, where he was able to win the WBA regular championship at lightweight, that it would basically set him up for pay-per-views in 2020. And one of the fights that I pretty much predicted would be Gervonta Tank Davis against Leo Santa Cruz. Now, Leo Santa Cruz recently won a super featherweight championship. Actually, the WBA super featherweight championship that Gervonta Tank Davis had before he moved up to the lightweight division. So that would kind of what I would have felt that would be Tank Davis's first pay-per-view fight would be him against Leo Santa Cruz. But now it seems like, Oscar De La Hoya wants to have King Ryan Garcia to go up against Tank, and he's Tank had a response on social media. He says, "Let's do it. This year I'll become super rich." You know, of course, you we know about what happened with Gamante Tank Davis a couple of weeks ago. He does still have that little issue that he has to deal with in Florida, in reference to that. So we have to figure out if he's going to be able to get through all of that. And then once that is handled, then his next move, as far as like who he will be able to fight next, will be set up once all of that is cleared. Um, but for the time being, we are looking into the thing for Ryan Garcia going up against Francisco Fonseca. Um, over in Anaheim at the Honda Center on Friday, February 14th. So that is something there that we're going to be putting you know putting our eyes into to see what happens with that fight and what happens after that particular fight. So that is partly what I have in reference to Ryan Garcia. Like I said, you have that fight card that will be on the zone Friday, February 14th, headlined by Ryan Garcia versus Francisco Fonseca for the WBC Silver Lightweight Championship. So you do have that. Saturday, you're going to have that IBF Super Middleweight Championship. Caleb Plant against Vincent Figgenbutts. It's going to be over in Tennessee. It's pretty much a hometown fight of sorts for Caleb Plant. Everybody has been, talking about Caleb Plant going up against Jose Benavidez, for that unified super middleweight championship. But that fight was supposed to. I mean, not, Jose Benavidez, David Benavidez, my fault. That was supposed to be for that IBF and WBC super middleweight championships, and of course, you had the whole thing with Benavidez being suspended that past year. He was able to get back into the ring, um, and win that super middleweight championship back against Anthony Durrell. And now it's about trying to see if they could set up a fight for him so that he would be able to get himself back on track, and then after that, um, see if he'll be able to be put into that unification fight between him and Caleb Plant. But Caleb Plant has this, um, has this fight coming up there for him against Vincent Figgenbutts, and Figgenbutts is kind of looking like he wants to go right at Caleb Plant. So looks like he's gonna probably do a come forward style against Caleb Plant. So we got to see how Caleb Plant is able to react to that, and see if he gets through that and retains that IBF Super Middleweight Championship, and moves forward. So, I mean, that's what I am kind of like looking forward to in reference to that particular matchup. So that is just remains to be seen what Caleb Plant is going to be able to do. Over some of the social boxing airwaves, they kind of like saying, okay, what is up with what is up with Caleb Plant? Why is he in the ring against these guys? Um, that's kind of these guys are not really supposed to be in the ring with Caleb Plant. But hey, this is what we have up to this particular point is Caleb Plant isn't able to get into the ring against top contenders in the super middleweight division. He has to, honor his mandatory right now. He did win that IBF belt. Um, you know, in his win that he had. Um, you know, and after that, he really hasn't had, very impressive fights. So, it is what it is with that. They tried to, have something set up, with him. Um, that he was going to, have another fight that was going to be set up for him, with another opponent. Um, and he that kind of like fell through. So that's the thing. That's the thing that's up with all that. Um, shout out here. We got Fighter IQ on here on the live stream. Shout out to Fighter IQ. Y'all be sure to check out Fighter IQ on YouTube as well. They have lots of content, lots of boxing content that's out there. So y'all be sure to, basically check them out. Um, like I said, they're back with Caleb Plant. Um, he had his win over Jose Uzcategui to win that IBF super middleweight championship, but ever since then he hasn't really had, much of an impressive type of, an impressive type of resume while being the IBF champion. So kind of like trying to see what else is out there, for him. I'm kind of like looking at some of the rankings that are out there, and I'll just tell you, just check out the BoxRec rankings for the super middleweight division. They have Caleb Plant ranked at 8th. I mean, they have Caleb Plant ranked at 8th. One other thing too, man. Shout out to YSM Sports Media. Y'all be sure to check out YSM Sports Media on YouTube, man. He's out there working hard. Mad is scared to leave New York. Oh man, like yo, we might have to. I don't know, man. We might have to get our key contributor, the president of the Deontay Wilder fan club. We might have to, get him in a straight jacket and get him in a car or a van and have him leave New York. Have him leave the 5 boroughs and drop him off. We'll drop him off in Verona or something. Have him cover a fight in Verona. We're gonna put him in a van and drop him off in Verona to cover a fight. Yo, that's pretty much. Maybe we could, try to do that, man. But also wanted to, try to talk about a couple of other things here. I did like have something. Let me see if I could like pull this up. So one of the other topics over the past, couple of days, and actually the past, week and a half or so, has been in the middleweight division, particularly with the WBC middleweight champion Jermall Charlo. Shout out to Jerry Johnson, on here, man. Yo, thanks for hitting the subscribe button. If you hit the subscribe button, man. Man, yo, we can't do bad like that. So we can't we can't drop them off in South Philly, son. That's savage. That's savage right there. Shout out to Bernard Wilkins on here, checking the live stream. Thanks for subscribing to the Boxing Source. Be sure to check out the videos on the channel. And we have the Boxing Source radio show live on Sundays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. on Blog Talk Radio, and we do have it on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your favorite podcast app is. So you could also subscribe to the podcast that way. But back to what I was talking about with Jermall Charlo. We had, a lot of discussions back and forth about Jermall Charlo and who he can, basically fight in the middleweight division. But there's been long discussion about him fighting, um, fighting Demetrius Andrade, who is a WBO middleweight champion. So I'm gonna see if I can try to play this video here. Seems like guests has come on, so I'm gonna see if I can play this video here real quick before we add on this guest. So I'm trying to see here if we could do this. So let me see if we could run this clip here. Yeah, we should have this thing on, so let's run it.
He got upset because I'm telling it like it is. They're fake. They don't. Nick Forbes don't even know how much I make. No cap. Stop listening to the goofy ass. Hear from me. I ain't even been on. I got a lot to say. Demetrius Andre, auto-tune, squeaky talking motherfucker. I smacked the play with me in person. Go to Wilder Fight. I'll see you at Wilder Fight. If you real, go to Wilder Fight. I'll meet you at Wilder Fight. Let's turn up at Wilder Fight. Wilder Fury. Let's turn up. Jacobs, whoever want to fight me, go to Wilder Fight. And I'm going to pick you out the day of the fight. Fuck. Stop playing with me. I'm the champ. Big champ shit. You know what I mean? Hey, big champ shit. Stop playing with me. Yeah, tell them that. Tell them I said that. So y'all can see that the champ do what y'all do. We are the same. We are humans. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I can't play no more, man. Yo, let me add on to the guests, man. Yo,
JR, you always on some bullshit when it comes to the Charlos. Why?
come on, man.
Leave these Charlos
The
alone.
Migos of boxing. The Migos of boxing, bro. Come on, man.
These dudes are too good in boxing. Hardest working man in boxing.
Come on, can you explain what Jermall Charlo was talking about in that video?
I have no idea.
He's talking about, yo, come to the Wilder Fight. Come see me at the Wilder Fight. Yo, Andre, come see me at the Wilder Fight. Daniel Jacobs, I'll call y'all too. Come see me at the Wilder Fight.
Yo,
does he really want Daniel Jacobs to roll up on him again?
Why not? Why not?
Oh,
he wasn't touching M's, but now he touching M's. So what's up?
Oh goodness, man. Whatever, man. Yo, before you got on, man, we had something, that showed like, he said, well, it's in sports media talking about you scared to leave New York, son.
Yo, you tell Jamil Parker that's on the live broadcast. Don't just be backstage, Jamil. Tell him plug up his dial-up modem. Okay. Take his little 20 minutes to get. I need to be professional. I apologize. What's going on, JR? How you doing today, man?
Man, come on. Yo, why they doing this, man, on the channel? He said, man, you looking like Bob Sapp. Man, like, come on, man. Come on, bro.
I forgot a customary greeting. Hold on.
Oh.
Bomb Squad! Okay. I feel better. I got it in my system. Let's talk. You want to talk Charlo versus Andre? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we
That's what
know.
I, got up to.
So why can't Andre go over to the PBC platform to fight him? It's not like he's getting all these fights on the Zone platform. So if he really wants the Charlo fight, go over to Showtime and fight him.
Well, I mean, he said that, he could do it for one fight. So I guess within the next couple of weeks, we're
That's not
gonna
what he
see.
said. He said that his contract situation says that he can only fight exclusively on the. He said that. So all that
I don't know
bullshit
why he
about
said that when he's talking about,
because
he
he's a
has his
liar.
four fight extension with Matchroom Boxing, and
Yeah,
they don't mean anything
he's a
about
liar.
him being exclusive to the
He's a
Zone.
liar.
So we're gonna see what happens here in this next couple of weeks, because hey, like you said, hey, Demetrius Andre been trolling the Charlo brothers for months. Like he said, like over on Twitter when he said, Merry Christmas to the Charlo brothers. Like, oh, like that was too savage right there, man. That was too savage. But you did have that, and then also from earlier today, IBF featherweight champion Josh Warrington
Yeah.
signs with Matchroom Boxing. And when the initial news came out,
that bitch made Punk.
and when this news came down, I was shocked. But after a couple of news things went down, one thing that I overheard was that there was talk about maybe the fight between Josh Warrington and Shakur Stevenson could be back on the negotiating table. Now, Shakur Stevenson still has his fight on March 14th in the theater at Madison Square Garden
against Mariaga.
Against Miguel Mariaga. But that still doesn't nix the whole thing with a possible unification bout between Shakur Stevenson and Josh Warrington. The only thing is now that they may open the door for that unification bout to be in the United States,
not in the
UK.
It's not going to happen.
We'll see. We'll see. Now, they do have a scheduled press conference.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was saying they do have a scheduled press conference with Matchroom Boxing and Josh Warrington tomorrow. So they're going to go through all the formalities and everything tomorrow. But like I said, there's a multi-fight deal
to ask about Stevenson. They have the coverage to ask about Stevenson because Josh Warrington, make no mistake about it, he signed with Matchroom to duck Shakur Stevenson around the JR. He wasn't negotiating in good faith. Now I feel bad because I was talking my shit about Stevenson, and I was. I'm not that impressed, But the fact of the matter is, how was he negotiating in good faith when he had this side deal? It reminds me of the situation with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder when they were negotiating the rematch, yet Fury was really trying to get the deal with ESPN. So he was faith. And Josh Warrington was not negotiating in good faith. And if that fight doesn't happen this year, then there's no way around it to say Josh Warrington to duck Shakur Stevenson.
Well, the thing with Wilder and Fury was, damn, I can't even use that word. It's just too corny to use that word. Fury was upset after the first fight in reference to how the financials were done. So I think that was the main reason why they didn't immediately go to a rematch after that first fight on December 1st, 2018. So,
Okay.
but on the flip side, now the rematch is much more lucrative for both fighters.
We hope.
So nah, man, come on, man, we got to come through. Yo, we got to come through with this, man. Come on, Matt. We've gone through this before. Yo, this is supposed to be one of the biggest and most important pay-per-view fights in boxing. This is
It
going to
is.
shape the future of
It is.
pay-per-view in boxing.
And it's
Because
going to
if
shape
this
whether or
isn't
not these two
successful,
companies can work together.
yeah, if this isn't successful, man, it's gonna be really, really bad on all fronts. So, yo, this thing got to come through. And I know that you've been, talking about, the coverage that ESPN is starting up and doing,
Hmm.
starting now for the next couple of weeks leading into the fight. So, hopefully, hopefully it goes well for him. Hopefully it goes well for
Yep.
him. We can't have. I can't see anything. I can't see 500,000. I can't see 600,000. I want to see at
I
least
need to
700,
see.
700 to 750 at least. At least.
Uh, no.
At
Minimum
least.
should be 1.5 million.
Minimum.
That should be the minimum. That should be the minimum.
Well, given how much they have invested in this particular event, given how much they have put in time to take out ads for the Super Bowl, yeah, they need to have that thing come back tenfold. It has to be, 1 million to 1.5 million buys, for in order for that to be successful. But yeah, back to this thing with Josh Warrington, man. You know, it's like this, man. It's a little bit of a mutual split, I guess, between both parties in that. Even
Yeah.
though Frank Warren told Seconds Out that he had been close to a deal with Top Rank for that fight between Warrington and Shakur Stevenson to come to the UK in the summer.
Yeah,
But
he thought.
he's claiming that the IBF put in the call for purse bids for a rematch with Kid Galahad, and
Eddie
unless
Hearn,
Kid
slick
Galahad,
motherfucker.
unless Kid Galahad had one of them Sergey Derevianchenko type of fights where he became mandatory again. Like, how in the
He
world is
did.
he able to get back in? Yeah, oh man, like
He
yo,
did.
I'm like,
The Claudio Morero fight
yeah,
was for
yeah,
the
the Claudio
mandatory spot.
Morero, yeah. Oh man, so yeah, he was able to get back into it. I'm like, oh, so they having a man, they're gonna have a rematch, man. I'm like, oh boy, man, I don't know, man. I don't know, dog. They had that rematch. I don't know Josh once, and I don't know.
I
Yo,
hope Galahad beats him.
well, me personally, I'm not really all that impressed about Josh Warrington anyway. Um, you know,
Now, the next your question
and
about Josh
it made
Warrington
me think about it. Uh
is it that now that he's with uh, uh, Matchroom and his own Eddie Hearn, that boy might be able to get a unification bout with him, Mr. Gary Russell Jr.
Well, it says it's a multi-fight deal. If Warrington does, have the fight against Galahad and wins that fight against Galahad, then Eddie Hearn may be able to go over to Gary Russell and say, "Hey, I got Josh Warrington over here, so
Hmm.
why not come on through and make that unification bout happen? This is what you've been wanting, for years now." So now you can get this chance. Come on over to the zone and make this fight happen. So it is possible, if they could,
I hope so.
try to get that together. I hope so too for Gary Russell Jr.'s sake, man. We
Russell
can't
will beat
have
his
it to
ass.
where I know. I know we will. I know we will. That's barbecue chicken.
Yeah,
Barbecue
that is
chicken.
barbecue. That's barbecue chicken alert.
Oh man, with extra sauce. Extra sauce. Now,
Exactly.
one other thing that I wanted to tackle here was something that you kind of shared in your rumor report, and that is the direction of where Canelo Alvarez is going to go for his next fight. There have been a lot of guesses over the past few weeks or so as far as who he would be fighting. One thing that they were trying to see if they could make happen was a fight between him and Ryota Murata
Hmm.
over in Japan. But it seemed like that had been on, now it's off, and it was on again, and then it was off again. So with that being off, that opened the door for those possibilities for Canelo Alvarez to fight Callum Smith or Billy Joe
Hmm.
Saunders for one of those super middleweight titles. But
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like that is in the cards. So I had a guess that I put up on the podcast, which I wanted to happen because you know that I don't like that guy either. I'm not
Yeah.
impressed by him at all over at light
Yeah.
heavyweight. But with him, you know, with Canelo Alvarez dropping the WBO light heavyweight championship that he won by knockout over Sergey Kovalev, that makes that be out of the picture. So that
Yeah.
leaves a fighter that we didn't expect, and that is Mr. Gennady Gennadievich Golovkin.
Boo! Boo! Oh my God.
Like, I'm
Oh my
sorry,
God.
folks, but um, I've said it before. I've said, and I'll say it again. I don't like Gennady Golovkin. I've had a video that is titled "The Myth of Gennady Golovkin," and I basically went in on Gennady Golovkin. And when he got signed to
Hmm.
the zone, they gave him that deal where he gets some incentive, pretty much a percentage of the zone stock and whatever it is
Yeah.
in his
Equity.
first fight, yeah, equity, and he gets his first fight against Steve Dinner Rolls.
Steve
I'm sorry,
Rolls.
Steve Rolls, and then he has his fight against Sergey Derevianchenko, which
He
they
lost.
basically protected him in that fight. He lost that fight.
He
And they,
lost.
basically gifted him the IBF middleweight championship. Now, he was about to get himself set up to fight Camille Cesare because, like I was
Hmm.
saying in the video about in the video about Golovkin, he's like, Camille Cesare oh, he good boy, he good boy, he good boy. I fight him, he good
Yeah.
boy. And oh man, but now it seems like something may have been talked about on the inside behind the scenes to kind of make Canelo Golovkin 3 a definite possibility. I want you to touch on that a little bit.
Well, here's the thing. First, let's look at Canelo's business structure. Oscar De La Hoya, do not listen to a word that Oscar De La Hoya has to say about Canelo. Canelo not ever talking to the dude. Oscar De La Hoya is only communicating to Canelo and Canelo's lawyer. Canelo said before, a lot of shit comes out of Oscar De La Hoya's mouth. Doesn't mean it's true. So if you ever hear Oscar De La Hoya say something about Canelo, he don't know because he's not in with the talks. So from what I was hearing, Canelo is looking for a big fight May 2nd. he doesn't care about Billy Joe Saunders. He just doesn't, because Saunders, yeah, nobody cares about him in America. Okay,
Doesn't
he
move the
doesn't care
needle like
about
that.
Callum Smith. Yeah, he doesn't care about Callum Smith. One name that I heard also that was very interesting was actually Jermall Charlo. So Canelo's trainer, so he was doing an interview in
And we know so,
Spanish
yeah.
where he was going hard on Charlo, talking shit. He said that Charlo is easy work, and if Charlo wants to move up to 168, then he can fight Canelo on May 2nd. But if he wants to wait for Canelo to come down 160, then Canelo will fight him later on in the year. But that's easy work. Those words from Eddie Reynosa.
Mm.
Golovkin moved into pole position because he's really the only interesting thing that Canelo has on the horizon. And DAZN willing to more money on top of
Mm.
his $35 million guarantee in order for him to fight Gennady Golovkin for a third time. He's doing it.
Yep. I mean, the thing is, like I said, the communication with Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo Alvarez has pretty much been, you know, shot to bits, particularly after
Yeah,
summer of last year, you know, when they had all of that crap miscommunication going on after Canelo's fight with Daniel
they gave
Jacobs.
they gave
Yeah,
away IBF
they
belt.
gave away that
That's what
IBF
really
belt.
happened.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, he said, "Yo, I could have fought Demetrius Andrade, or I could have fought Sergey Derevianchenko in order for me to keep that IBF title."
Exactly.
But they were like, "No, nope." They didn't even want to, seal those fights. It looked like they wanted to, make that beeline for that Kovalev fight, which Canelo may or may not have wanted that Kovalev fight, but he, fighting for legacy, that part kind of like had him split, I would say,
Hmm.
But he would have still been able to fight, either Sergey Derevianchenko or Demetrius Andrade, just to say, okay, I'm the
Yeah.
guy at middleweight, and I will prove that I'm the guy at middleweight by beating those guys. So there's that.
Listen,
But
and we know based on Canelo's reputation, he'd fight anybody. Like, I
yeah,
think we have enough evidence in the last 10 years to know Canelo hard Kool-Aid for nobody. If he thinks that you think you're a challenge and you're worth a little bit of money, he'll step in the ring with you. It
yeah,
is what it is.
yeah. But
But them calling
um,
Charlo easy work was kind of interesting.
well, I mean, I think it may be possible. And I think it may be possible on the business standpoint because, when you did talk about the thing with, Gennady Golovkin,
Hmm.
I think that with the fights that Canelo has had so far, he had the thing with Kovalev, Daniel Jacobs, and then basically that gimme fight that he had, you know, in his first fight under the zone over in Madison Square Garden. That I feel that they are kind of like saying, "Hey, we need to kind of try to try to at least break even with the deal that we had worked out
Hmm.
between us and you, Canelo." So that $365 million, deal or whatever it is, or the 10 fight, 350 million that you were talking about, they're gonna have to, get that back somehow. So if it means that they have to put in an added incentive of $5 million to the $35 million guarantee that he has in order for him to fight Gennady Golovkin, then they would do that as long as it would be one of the biggest fights in 2020. And yeah, I
Yeah.
know it's Canelo Alvarez, it's Gennady Golovkin. I'm personally not that amped for that particular fight, but it's still
I
one of the
so
biggest fights. Well,
I paid
I
$20
pay
for it.
the only reason why I would pay $20 for it is in order for Canelo Alvarez to end the career of Gennady. Oops, did I say that?
I hope
I
so.
think I did.
I hope so.
I
I
think I
hope
did.
so.
But I mean, that's kind of like what's happening there. If they booking May 2nd over at the T-Mobile Arena, there's no other fight that could fill up T-Mobile Arena faster on that date for Canelo Alvarez than for him to fight
Yeah.
Gennady Golovkin one more time. So there is that. Now on the thing with Charlo, with Eddie Reynoso saying what he's saying, that means that it could be a possibility that he could fight Charlo,
Mm-hmm.
whether it is at 160 or 168. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
Canelo does fight Golovkin at 168, he might stay at 168 and have Charlo try to have to move up in order for that 168 fight to
As he
happen.
should.
But
You're Canelo. You gotta come
yeah,
meet me. I'm not
yeah,
jumping through hoops
yeah.
for nobody. I'm fucking Canelo.
Yeah, I'm Canelo,
Shit.
man. Like, come
Who the
on,
fuck are
like,
you? I'm Canelo. Yeah.
yeah, but the- but
I
the-
was
but
born ready.
but does that mean? But does that also mean that if he has Charlo move up to 168, that Charlo doesn't get the type of money that you were talking about earlier if Canelo
Yeah.
Alvarez was still at middleweight? You see, then Charlo wouldn't be a world champion. So he
Yeah.
wouldn't be
But
able to
it'll
do that.
still be the biggest payday he could possibly get in. And it would be the biggest fight of his career. If Jermall Charlo was to beat Canelo Alvarez, he's a made man. So to me, even if you got to take a couple million less than what you originally thought you were going to get, yo, that is a chance you have to take because there is nobody in boxing that Jermall Charlo can fight and beat that would make the financial guy that he wants to be besides Canelo Alvarez. There's nobody else. Nobody gives a shit about Andrade. What, maybe like 10 of us do? Triple G's not going to fight him. He could have fought him if he wanted to. Triple G's not going to fucking fight him. Billy Joe Saunders, nobody cares. Who else got at middleweight? Who's the WBO guy at middleweight? Damn, why am I drawing a blank? Who's the WBO
No,
champion at middleweight?
no, it's Andre that's WBO champ in middleweight.
Oh yeah. Nobody cares about Andrade. Then you got Canelo, who still has the WBA, I'm assuming, and you got Golovkin, who's not going
WBA
to fight
Series
him.
champion. Yep.
Yeah,
So,
there's nobody you can fight.
yep. I mean, and that's why I was like, well, you maybe you'll just set those two fights up for 2020 and then we
Yeah,
see, what ends up happening in 2021. Maybe he stays there at 168. And if he does fight Charlo at 168, that could open up the possibility of Canelo staying at 168 if he wins and fighting the likes of a Caleb Plant or a David Benavidez there at 168
mm.
in
Nah, you stay
2021.
away from that kid. You stay far away from that kid.
I mean, but here's the thing: it's like here, even after two fights in 2020, Canelo's still not halfway through his contract, so you still got a good
Yeah,
amount of fights left that he has to go through. So it's like,
yeah,
well, they're gonna have to try to get something, something planned up for him, because they gotta have. The only other thing I would say, and I know it's far fetched right now, is if you have the former WBO junior middleweight champion Jaime Munguia be able to, win a middleweight title, and then you have Canelo against Munguia in the future, like in 2021. That's one of the
That's
other
a good
possibilities.
fight.
It's
That's a
it's a
good
good
fight.
fight, but you know, so I mean, there's that. One other thing, looks like I was hearing news about Sergey Kovalev uh possibly moving up to the cruiserweight division.
Who gives a fuck about Sergey Kovalev? Listen, if Sergey Kovalev got sent to hell by a middleweight, what the fuck is gonna happen to him at cruiserweight? Man,
Put him in the
sent
ring
to hell.
against the KO Doctor. Let's have the KO
Oh
Doctor
my god.
win the World Boxing
Oh my
Super
god.
Series, and then
Oh
have
my
him
gosh.
fight Kovalev.
Whew. You talking my language now, JR. Oh shit. I need to sing my
Yeah,
god. Oh, please, God.
yeah.
The KO Doctor. Oh my God, yes. When he knocks him out, he should say, "Oh, this is for the dog that you kicked. This is for the girl that you punched in the face." That's what I want to see.
It's for that bruise
Have
that,
the
that
dog
she has on
ringside.
her neck.
Have the dog ringside. Have the girl and the dog ringside. Have them
Yo, no,
ringside.
have the girl announce the
Oh,
fight.
doctor.
Have the girl announce the fight. Have Robert Byrd as a
Yeah,
referee.
exactly.
Oh boy, yeah, I would look forward to something like that if they have Kovalev moving up the cruiserweight. Um,
Yeah, but you know, the
yo,
zone has to
that's
pay for that fight. That's crazy to me. And you know his first fight at cruiserweight show, but the zone is on the hook for that because of the contract
yeah,
that he did. Bunch
yeah,
of idiots at the zone,
yep.
man.
I mean, a lot of the decisions that they're making are quick, but not with much thought. So they're kind of like they're losing a lot of money on that end. So the thing about that is that are they willing to lose a lot of money in order to try to get that back, on the long term? I mean, that's what they're kind of like saying in the immediate subject with, off topic with the XFL. The XFL is going to be losing money for the first 2 years at least. Are they willing to lose money on those first 2 years in order to see if they're able to get that stuff back? And now
Yeah, but
with
here's
the
the thing:
zone,
the zone is losing a lot of money, but where's the end in sight? Well, they're not going to be profitable for a very, very long time, and they're not going to get the rights deals to the NFL, to MLB, to the NBA. They're just not going to do it. Those leagues are not going to give their rights to the zone. They're
well,
not
they're
going to
not
do it. I'm
going
telling you.
to they're not going to get it here in the United States. They have to try to get it in the other countries that the zone is out there for, and that's pretty much what
Yeah, but
they're
what does that
kind of.
mean? All the money that they're spending in the U.S.
Hey, they're gonna have to have those highlight shows that they're currently having with the MLB
Oh,
and now the NFL. I think it is, and
let me
let's
sign
see
up
how
right
far
now to
they
watch
go.
some fucking highlights. Let me sign up right now to watch some highlights
Hey,
because I don't have
listen,
YouTube. I have Twitter. Let me watch some highlights on fucking the zone for $20 a month.
or $100 a year.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here,
Yo,
yo.
oh man, yo. Hey,
Hey,
Jamil says he's back, yo. He said, we said he's got a plan for that for that trip for you to South Philly, son.
man,
Jamil, you got called out too, man. You got called out too. So you're supposed to be getting on this show, man. You got the link, so
exactly,
you supposed to be able to get on this
exactly.
show, bro. You know what I mean? Oh
He ain't
man.
gonna get it on the show. He ain't gonna get it
Yo,
on the show, man.
like I said, yo, you got this whole little thing about what's happening this weekend, and then it's Wilder Fury 2. Um,
Yeah,
we it's supposed to be something scheduled like there was a conference call with Deontay Wilder. Um, that was what the
yeah.
other day,
Yesterday,
yesterday, and I think there's going to be one scheduled for Tyson Fury tomorrow. That's going to be tomorrow afternoon. We're going to be able to get the
are you
conference from that, and
gonna get?
yeah, I'm going to get on that one. I'm going to get on that one. Try to
But
ask
why
a
you didn't
couple
get
of
on the Wilder
questions.
one? Why you didn't get on the Wilder
Well,
one?
for one, because I ain't even know the number because they never sent it to me. That's one thing, you
You
know.
bullshit. You just a hater. You're gonna get on Tyson Fury shit, but you didn't want to get on Deontay Wilder shit. That's bullshit, man. You a fucking hater.
Man. Let me see. Let me try to do something here, man. Because like I said, man, I never get anything from and your boy knows me, man. Tim Smith has seen me, man. So he should be able to send out the notices for when Deontay Wilder, does stuff or whatever it is. But but yo, Top Rank was saying that they're, you know, basically, try to be on it or whatnot. So I'm like trying to figure out like how in the world is it that, you know, this like I'm able to get this. I'm able to get that from Top Rank, but not from PBC, man. Like, hey,
Yeah, they seen your
that
show. That's why, motherfucker. Yeah, they've heard they've heard your rants about the fuck out of here.
oh man, yo, you see him extremely biased for against Deontay Wilder, man.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah,
crazy
yeah.
son. Oh boy, yo. That's probably why. That's probably why I'm not gonna get the pass to go. Oh boy, yo, yeah, but that's pretty much it, man. Hey, just gonna see what's gonna happen with these whatever fights. Yo, I gotta cover it. That's what I do. King Ryan action. He says that he wants to fight Tank Davis. Small chance that it might happen this year, but we'll see.
I hope
Um,
so.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. Yo, talking about barbecue chicken, man. I'm trying to tell folks, man. Yo, if Ryan Garcia gets in that ring against Tarek Davis, he's gonna regret it. I'm sorry, he's gonna regret it. It's gonna be barbecue chicken. It is what it is. But we will get right back at it. Sunday live, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. The Boxing Source radio show. Hopefully, I will have a special guest on live. Trying to work on that right now. If I get this guest, it's gonna be a wild show to say the least. If I get them on, so be on the lookout for that. And I'll catch y'all folks later. Until Sunday, folks. Peace out.